Welcome to the Guide to Understanding the Individualized Education Plan, aka the IEP. We will be your guides helping you to explore the world of IEP processes and procedures. This is Lisa, and this is her son Tommy. She has just been informed that her child with autism will be needing to have an IEP meeting to discuss her son's unique and specific educational goals and begin developing his individualized education plan, also known as an IEP. This can be a confusing and isolating time. I'm sure you will feel overwhelmed and you may feel nervous being around all of these people and professionals. And I am definitely sure that there's 1,000 questions racing through your mind, Lisa. But just know you're not the only one. So welcome to the world of IEP. It is important to become knowledgeable of your parental rights during this ongoing process. This is only the beginning for you and Tommy. Your participation is valuable and important and mandated under the law. This new world may be overwhelming, but don't worry, Lisa and Tommy. We are here to show you the way of the land. Let's begin with, what is an IEP? First, let's shift our attention to the I in the IEP. The I is the most important part of the development of a strong IEP for Tommy. An IEP must be individualized, which means this is an individualized plan for educating your child who is receiving special educational services. Lisa, let's shift to something that will help you grasp what an IEP really is. The IEP is essentially the blueprint, or in this case, the roadmap to your child's special education programming and future success. Along the way, you might want to reevaluate the chosen route to make sure you are still on track without any delays. These detours and changes in route will need to be discussed with everyone in the car, in this case the IEP team, so that everyone remains focused on arriving at the end destination, Tommy's graduation. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the IEP process and procedures, let's talk about the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. This is also referred to as IDEA. This is a federal law that requires that anybody who receives special education services must have an individualized education program, also known as an IEP. Lisa, so why is the IEP process so important to you and Tommy? An IEP is an important legal document that spells out your child's learning needs, the services the schools will provide, and how progress will be measured. The entire process of creating an IEP is a great way to identify your child's strengths and areas of improvement to help figure out ways to assist your child in succeeding. The IEP is meant to address your child's unique learning issues and include specific educational goals. It is a legally binding document that puts accountability on the schools to provide everything it promises in the IEP. The IEP process can be broken down into 4 moving parts, so pay attention. These are essentially the purpose of the IEP, which include communication and collaboration, accountability, compliance and monitoring, and evaluations. Let's start off with communication and collaboration. The IEP meeting serves as a communication vehicle between parents and school personnel, whom are equal participants in the IEP process. Together, you and the school personnel will determine Tommy's needs and what services the school will provide to meet those needs. Next is accountability. The IEP is a written commitment that the school will provide Tommy the special education and related services designed to meet his unique needs. Therefore, the IEP is like a contract because it obligates the school to provide a free and appropriate public education by delivering specified special education and related services listed in the IEP. The third purpose of an IEP is compliance and monitoring. The school district must ensure that all services set forth in Tommy's IEP are provided and consistent with his needs as identified in the IEP. The IEP may be used by state or federal government agencies to monitor the special education services provided by schools. Last but certainly not least is evaluation. The IEP is an evaluation tool. It must describe how Tommy's annual goals will be measured and include a schedule for reporting on the progress towards his goals. It is also used to evaluate his progress towards meeting his goals. It is important that the IEP contain goals that are measurable and that they will be measured. Now let's introduce you to Tommy's IEP team. These individuals become the advocates for your child's special education success and whom you will see annually. The school district is responsible for having the required participants at the IEP meeting. The team must include the child's parent or guardian, a knowledgeable representative of the school district, his special education teacher, a general education teacher, a qualified interpreter, Tommy when appropriate, a related service personnel, a transition service personnel, and a friend for extra support. Continue on to part 2.
Created using Powtoon.